Let's start with something that doesn't make sense here. Democrats in Congress are sitting around 18% approval and about 73% disapproval. Now, look, Trump is back in power, back in office. Republicans are chaotic. The headlines are nonstop. So you would think, okay, Democrats should be gaining support just because the other side looks so bad right now. But that's not happening in here. And you would wonder why they're not benefiting all this at all. This is my thoughts, okay? A lot of people are going to say this is messaging, this is social media, it's the voter being dumped and whatever. I don't think so. Because when you talk to the regular people, the working class, you don't hear confusion. You usually hear exhaustion and frustration. Most people are not living inside politics. They're living inside bills. Rent, grocery, gas, childcare, healthcare. That's what decide how people feel about the party. So when Democrats get on TV, talk about like everything is fine, or just talk about the cultural war or that kind of stuff, or even just meet a bunch of celebrities for their PR, the people are going to feel you are so detached and they're going to feel you are not really living in my life. And that's how you lose trust. And once trust is gone, people don't always switch to Republicans. A lot of time, they just check out. They just stop believing anyone is going to help. And that's the frustration I feel from my comment section. And here's the part that gets more uncomfortable. Instead of confronting economic pressure face to face, American politics keeps drifting into this safer zone. Culture fights, symbol fights, ideology fights, constant arguing over who offended, who is not. You have factions within factions. Those topics are real, sure, but they are just convenient because talking about culture doesn't mess with the donor class. Talking about corporate power does. So from the outside, if you are a working person watching all this, it just looks like politicians arguing over about languages while your rent and grocery price goes up again. And that gap creates resentment fast. Then there's immigration. People keep treating immigration policies like it's just some moral debate, like you are either a good person or bad person, depending on what do you say. But you and I both understand that it's also a practical issue, right? It affects the low-wage labor market. It affects housing. It affects local schools. It affects clinics. It affects public service. And the first people who feel those pressure are usually working-class communities that were already struggling. So when politicians refuse to talk about capacity enforcement, labor protection, and what's actually happening on the ground, people will feel being ignored. Not hateful, just ignored. And the most dangerous sign for Democrats is this. It's not Republican attacking them. That's just normal as usual. It's their own side are going quiet, going check out. When your own base stop defending you, you are not only dealing with communication problems, you're dealing with the credibility problems. You can raise money, you can run ads, but you cannot force people to believe you. And that brings me to another point that I keep seeing online. I think it's dead on. People are saying if Trump is so awful, then why there's not enough support for the Democrats? Because being anti-Trump is not a plan. It is just a posture. It works for a while, then people will ask, okay, what are you going to do for my life? And if the answer feels like a speech instead of a relief, and the support will collapse. And here's another thing. Corporate influence is not a conspiracy. It's just how the system is built. Campaign money, lobby, the revolving door, the same people bouncing between government and industry. The system rewards politicians who don't scare the people with money. And the voter will feel that. Even they don't use fancy word, they feel that. So what does an ideal candidate look like? To me, it's not that complicated. It has to be a grassroots candidate, someone who actually understands working class, because they're actually one of them, and someone who talks about the working class every day, not just doing the campaign times. And someone who tries to unite working class people instead of blaming the other side to dodge the actual responsibility. And let me know what do you think. And I have more contents on Substack, link in bio, and there's a full article with this video. And thank you for all the support and the subscriptions. I really appreciate it. Take care.